Welcome back to video number 2. Well, it didn't take long after the video came out for the UK media to rip it apart. Oh my God. And William to the rescue. Whew, let's cover it. Let's go. So as I just showed you in video number 1, Catherine and William put out that gorgeous Instagram video, but then BBC News had some controversy because one of their presenters wanted more, quote, public accountability from Princess Catherine. Like, what do you mean public accountability? It didn't take long to figure this out. So one of the PR experts praised, this video and, the art of PR is to get your story out and people to engage. And, if you look at the front page of every media this morning, that's certainly what has happened. So what the guy was really upset about was, what he said was, if they just go straight to social media and ignore the legacy media, they're not opening themselves up to any accountability or questions from royal correspondents. So we're not unsympathetic, but there's no public accountability from this family. Public accountability for what? I'm not exactly sure. Then this person wrote a hit piece about the video, talking about, how the video was so great, but then as she watched it, it turned into an advertisement. And this is what it says. There were trees, there were ferns, dappled sunlight, frolicking of children. This was highly choreographed, which, yes, it was so much. It was slick and soft-focused, released yesterday, as surely as misjudged as the 1969 documentary that attempted to portray the royal family as normal, backfiring so badly the Queen made sure it was never seen again. She said the only person that seemed almost real was William. She said, wouldn't it have meant more if Catherine had discussed the type of cancer she's suffering from? Who at Kensington Palace thought this was the right approach? Why the wardrobe changes, the soft music, the slow motion? I think it was intended to show they are a happy family, but if you have to try this hard, ... Really? Really? She says, I can't imagine Charles and Camilla releasing something like this when he gets the all clear. I mean, she just went off on them. She wrote, to my mind, the portrait of our next king was off too. And how can we take William seriously having seen his bare legs wrapped around his wife? I don't remember seeing that picture at all, but maybe I'm missing it. He says, she finishes with, I'm not against tactile. I love the footage of Diana hugging her boys laughing, but those were spontaneous. No choreography at all. Wow, lady. Now, as if all that was not enough, a BBC journalist compared that movie to the behavior of Beyonce. News questioned, and I'm quoting, more normal would have been a 3-line statement saying treatment was over. But if you've grown up in the world of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, this might feel more normal. And then they go on to say, if you take someone like Beyonce, who's barely said a word to the media in the last 11 years, because, she doesn't need to, because she can talk directly. This is Catherine talking directly and choosing how and what to say that might be painful. Well, okay, that's not so bad. What is so wrong with Catherine talking directly and not through the press so that her words don't get misconstrued? What's so wrong with that anyway? And then here comes Jack Royston, sugar number 2, right behind Obed Scobie, that basically said that her announcing the end of her chemo sparked an online debate about the authenticity of her video. Ugh. So he immediately goes to Shouty Shola. Here's what she had to say. She was actually very tame. She said, I get it. This video gathered with the happy family can be perceived as contrived and a PR move to rehab their image, avoid speculation about health, marriage, etc. But nevertheless, I wish her the happy images because everybody should have a happy family. It's important this video highlights the reality that there are thousands of Brits that are, going through cancer treatments. And they are struggling in a way that Catherine would never have to. And then, of course, she goes on about the food banks and the fuel caps and all this kind of stuff. But considering her previous attacks, this was rather tame of her. I'm proud of her. She didn't go full all out. What they're pointing out is that not everybody responded positively to this last video. They're claiming it had a mocking tone, but they're also pointing out it's a long way from the speculation of what went on in February and March when it was first announced that she had cancer. I mean, this guy, whoever he is, I can't even, took the video and added different music to it, the Succession theme, and put it back up. And it sounds really evil and not very nice, in my opinion. Now, another big topic of conversation is the fact that Catherine and William changed their profile pictures on social media. You would think that something big happened, but I mean, I don't see anything wrong with these pictures. I think they're lovely, and I think if they want to change their stuff on social media, why is it such a big deal for everybody? I haven't figured that out. So while all of that's going on, Prince William decides this is a good time to do a public appearance. He stepped out in Wales for a day of different engagements. His first stop was at the Swiss Valley Community Primary School, where he met children who took part in the 2024, URDD EISTEDDFOD, which is a week-long festival of the Welsh language and culture. He met a lot of children, but one of the pupils he met was a little girl, 10 years old, Ruby Davis. She's a second language Welsh learner who went viral this year for her win in the individual recital category. And of course, as he was leaving, there was a big crowd and people giving him cards to give to Princess Catherine. Now, as he was collecting these gifts, one of the people in the crowd, he was 74, and he asked William how Catherine was doing, and William replied, and I'm quoting, "It's good news, but there's still a long way to go." Well, I think that tells you everything you need to know. I'm hoping to put these in the right order, but after William left the school, William, who is patron of the Welsh Rugby Union, went to meet the Scarlets, the current Wales female international team. They recently qualified for the 2025 World Cup, and he presented caps and brooches for the WRU's Missing campaign. Those are players who were missed when they played for Wales. Of course, there were more people to meet outside, and when he got done there, then William went to visit the Wales Air Ambulance. He met with the staff and crew members. He met with the chief executive of the Wales Air Ambulance charity. Her name is Sue Barnes, and Lord Lieutenant Sarah Edwards. Of course, we all know that William was an air ambulance pilot, so I'm sure he absolutely loved going and seeing the ambulance and, getting all into all of that. I'm glad he went out today, and I'm glad that he and Catherine put out that video, even though it got absolutely ripped apart. You guys know what to do. Go down into the description box and hit the link for video number 3. It's not a royal family video. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's go.